Veilpoint Station survived on distance. Distance from law, from judgment from the past. Ships came and went through its docking rings without questions. People worked, traded, and vanished. That was why Dr. Lila Arden chose it. Veilpoint didn't care that she was a disgraced xenobiologist. It only cared that she deliver results. Lila stood alone in her cramped lab, sorting glowing protein samples under buzzing lights, when a sound cut through the corridor. It wasn't metal grinding. It wasn't an alarm. It was a cry. Wet, broken, panicked. Lila froze, her hands hovering above the tray. She had heard that sound before, not in real life, but in classified recordings during her doctoral research. A Scarex cub. The Scarex were apex predators. Adults stood nearly 10 feet tall, armored in black obsidian scales, with claws that could tear through reinforced hulls. Their empire ruled entire sectors through fear alone. Strength was everything to them. Weakness was erased. The sound came again, closer this time. Lila stepped into the corridor, her pulse pounding. Near a dim maintenance alcove, she saw it. The cub was small, barely the size of a large dog. Its scales were dull and cracked. Dark blood seeped from gashes along its side, staining the floor. Its golden eyes flickered weakly as it looked up at her. Then the translator chip in its throat crackled. "Please," the cub whispered. "Help. My father poisoned. He's dying." Lila's instincts screamed at her to leave. Scarex hunted humans in border zones. Their warriors were trained to show no mercy. Helping one could get her killed. But this wasn't a warrior. It was a child. "Where is he?" Lila asked. "Lower docks," the cub said. "Deck 9. Sabotage." The cub tried to stand and collapsed. Without thinking, Lila scooped him into her arms. Nearby traders gasped. Scarex never carried their young. Doing so marked the cub as weak. The cub stiffened in shock, claws twitching, then slowly relaxed and pressed his head against her shoulder. Deck 9 was industrial and dim, full of exposed pipes and warning lights. The Scarex ship sat crooked in its berth, airlock torn open. Inside, the cub's father lay sprawled across the deck, his massive body convulsing. The air burned Lila's lungs. Burnt circuitry mixed with something sharp and chemical. "What happened?" Lila asked. "Rivals," the cub said. "Gas trap in the navigation core. Chemical sabotage." Lila's mind raced. Scarex breathed oxygen like humans, but their triple-lung system absorbed toxins faster. A neurotoxic gas would overwhelm them in minutes. She pulled up her datapad. Full Scarex medical files cost nearly all her remaining credits. "Charge it," she muttered. The data flooded her screen. Scarex nervous systems used Threxin instead of human neurotransmitters. Their metabolism ran twice as fast. Human antitoxins wouldn't work. Some would kill him faster. Most species had raw strength, psychic power, or hive intelligence. Humans had something else. Adaptation. "Stay with him," Lila told the cub. "Talk to him. Keep him awake." She sprinted through Veilpoint's corridors to the medical bay. The attending medic, a tall alien with shimmering skin, looked up in alarm. "I need atropine, pralidoxime, activated carbon, a neural stimulator, and a cardiac regulator," Lila said. "That's human treatment," the medic replied. "We don't treat Scarex." Lila leaned forward, voice steady. "A child is watching his father die. I can help. Either give me the supplies, or I take them." The medic hesitated, then moved. Minutes later, Lila was running back to Deck 9. The Scarex warrior's convulsions were weaker now. His breathing shallow. Lila adjusted dosages on the fly, compensating for alien chemistry. It was educated guesswork. One wrong calculation would kill him. She injected the compound into the primary nerve cluster. Nothing happened. The cub whimpered. Then the convulsions stopped. The warrior's breathing deepened. His eyes opened slowly, focusing. "My son," he rumbled. The cub threw himself against his father, sobbing with relief. Lila stepped back, knees shaking. She had almost failed. The warrior's gaze fixed on her. "You are human." "Yes." "Why help us?" Lila wiped sweat from her brow. "Because kids shouldn't beg strangers to save their parents." The story spread through Veilpoint within hours. A human had saved a Scarex warlord using improvised medicine. Before we dive into story, let us know where you are watching from in comments and subscribe, because I will be sharing something special tomorrow. Merchants carried the tale to distant systems. Scarex commanders listened in silence. 3 months later, the Scarex Dominion submitted a proposal to the Galactic Council. Humanity was to be reclassified as a sovereign partner. The testimony came from the Cub's father. "I have conquered worlds," he wrote, "but I never understood courage until a human chose compassion when fear was easier." Lila Arden never called herself a hero. She had simply done what felt right, and the galaxy would never see humans the same way again. Lila didn't stay to hear the praise. When the Scarex delegation arrived weeks later, armored guards filling Veilpoint's halls, she was already back in her lab. She didn't want medals or credits. She wanted quiet, but the Scarex warlord insisted. He entered without hostility, lowering his massive frame so his eyes were level with hers. That alone stunned everyone watching. "My son lives," he said, "because you acted when others would not." He placed a small object on her work table, a Scarex crest carved from obsidian crystal. It was a symbol never given to outsiders. "Among my people," he continued, "this means family debt. It cannot be repaid, only honored." Lila swallowed. "I didn't do it for honor." "I know," the warlord replied. "That is why it matters." After they left, Veilpoint felt different. Traders spoke softer. Guards hesitated before shoving refugees aside. Even the station's cold lights seemed warmer. The Cub visited her once more before departing. He stood taller now, wounds healed. "I will remember," he said, "when I am strong." Lila smiled. "Just remember to be kind too." When Veilpoint returned to its usual noise, Lila went back to her work. Still anonymous, still flawed, still human. But somewhere far beyond the station, empires recalculated their assumptions. Because a species once dismissed as weak had proven something rare. They chose to care, and changed the balance of the galaxy forever. Long after the ships departed, Lila remained at her bench, hands steady, heart quiet. She understood now that survival wasn't just about strength or fear. Sometimes survival meant choosing compassion and accepting the cost without expecting reward.